Well, good morning to our member community of Parker. It's so wonderful to see all of our smiling faces here and be joined in the energy and the love of our spirituality. For we also know that even though we are here participating, that we are truly participating with the world. For what brought us here today is always, always love. And the expression that we use here is that we welcome you home. I'm Colleen DeVries, and I'm one of the many practitioners here at the Center for Spiritual Living Parker. And I have the great joy of welcoming you home. I'll never forget the first time that I came to a service. I came thinking I could sit in the back row, that I could be really quiet, and no one would notice me. But then I realized that when you're at home, you celebrate. And today is a celebration. It's a celebration of the joy that we here all have come through the jail of COVID. We've come out here to celebrate our spirits. And we celebrate with music and prayer and meditation. We put it all together for a wonderful service for you today. And if I could please, would the practitioners please stand so that you can see who our pracs are. Come on, up, stand. Thank you. I ask for that not just because we're so proud of them, but the fact that they are here to serve you. They hold prayer for us through the service, and afterwards they're ready to do an affirmative prayer with you. So please, please, take advantage of that opportunity. Pray for the goodness in life and pray for where you need your help too, because that's what a practitioner does. Now, we all know that we live in a spiritual universe. And someone asked me the other day, they said, well, what is science of mind? And I could express it more in my emotion than I could in my words. Because my emotion is that I know that I'm loved. I know that no matter what happens in my life, that there's a God in me, and that this is one God, and this is a wholeness that we always embrace, because through this love, life is good, God is good. So we've lined out a wonderful program for you today, and we're going to have a guest speaker, Dr. Yvonne Levy. So she has been a friend and a member of our center for many, many years. She and I have gone to classes together. I've gone to her classes. She brings a wonderful peace to the message. So please, we look forward to that today. And so with that, now that you're all comfortable, we're going to transition into our spiritual activities, of which I would now like to have the announcements. April, would you share our announcements with us, please? Excuse me, I'm just looking for...
I disarranged it for her.
There they are. Well, it's nice to see everyone's smiling faces and to actually get to see them for a change, isn't it? So for the announcements, we have quite a few. Dr. Nadine will be hosting a workshop, Sacred Selfishness. Most of us have grown up believing that sacrifice and compromise are essential to having healthy relationships, but we will explore why this may not be the case. We will learn the difference between soul-centered and ego-centered selfishness and learn how to release our walls, ultimatum, and the need to manage and control in our relationships. This will be on Sunday, June 20th, next Sunday, from 12 to 2:30, and the investment is only $45. Please join Reverend Phil for Common Ground on the 2nd and 4th Wednesdays of each month from 7 to 8 p.m. This ongoing series will be discussing how we include diversity in our lives and how to live with an intent of listening and honoring diverse perspectives. Please, the Zoom link is located in our weekly e-blast. Save the date for our town hall meeting on Thursday, June 24th at 7 p.m.
In addition to community updates, the discussion will center around what does it mean to be patient in a period of growth? Reverend Phil will be starting a new class, the Essential Earnest Homes. This is an accredited class, and I hope you'll be joining me. I'll be in it. And we'll be going deep into the teachings of Earnest Homes. You'll gain a holistic awareness of Earnest's thoughts and come to see that many of their modern topical questions about applying the science of mind philosophy were addressed by our founder himself at one time or another. The class begins on July 6th, and it goes from 6 to 8:30, and it lasts for a whole 10 weeks. The investment is $245. And I know that we have all been very blessed to have Dr. Nadine help us through this time of transition, but her time here is ending. There will be a gratitude and farewell party for her on Zoom, June 30th at 7 p.m. Please be there to show her how much we appreciate her and thank her for her guidance during this period. This and all other Zoom links are located in the weekly e-blast or on Facebook. And now sit back and enjoy meditation and music.
We'd also like to acknowledge we are incredibly grateful today to share the stage with the amazing Denise Rosier.
This is our time for meditation. As you begin to quiet your mind, open your whole body to Spirit's amazing love for you. Deepen your breath through your nose and close your eyes. Straighten your spine. Push your hips back a little. Uncross your arms, legs, and feet. Let your hands lie palms up on your thighs in a mode of receptivity. Let your head move side to side slightly. Then forward and back. Let your head and neck come into your neutral with no strain anywhere. Gently lift your shoulders and allow them to come back. And now let your shoulder blades slide down your back, opening your heart space. Let your feet be flat, hip distance apart, and even. Notice your body. Does it feel the same on the right as it does on the left? Adjust it to feel grounded, balanced, and with perfect healing equilibrium. Create a space with your body that feels holy to you. On your inhale through your nose, tell yourself, I am taking this time to center within my hearts of hearts, to connect with the core of my being where the Spirit of God resides. exhale, tell yourself, I am letting go of any worries or stress that stand between me and my soul's calling, which is simply to love. Dwell at peace in this moment. And when you are ready, make your way back to our soulful service. And so it is.
I am goodness, grace beyond measure. I am peace, here and now. I am wholeness, thriving perfection. I am love. I am life, free and abundant. I am joy, awakened and wide. I am spirit, open and boundless. I am love. I am love. Smell these words are all we are goodness. We are goodness, grace beyond measure. We are peace, here and now. We are wholeness, thriving perfection. We are love. We are love. We are life. We are life, free and abundant. We are joy, awakened and wild. Our joy, awakened and wild. We are spirit. We are spirit, open and boundless. We are love. We are love. We are spirit. We are spirit, open and boundless. We are love. We are love.
I got to choose the spiritual reading this week, and I almost always go to the Science of Mind magazine. It's so rich. This is one of the dailies, and it is on page 35. It's called The Soul Souffle. And I'm going to just read the last half of it. I find inspiration in the idea that what we are innately is not a body, but vessels of energy equipped with limitless intelligence. As C.S.L. Lewis said, you don't have a soul, you are a soul. You have a body. I love the thought that we've already won. Holmes described it as our eternal unfoldment. There is no losing, only constant increases in recognition of how the perfect patterning of God is the ultimate reality. Perhaps we're taking an eternal soul souffle. Perhaps, let me back up. Perhaps we're baking an eternal soul souffle, growing, collapsing, shape-shifting, and repeating our way through innumerable cycles of adventure. We cannot fail to return to the one, but we can determine the quality and endurance of our soul's journey through developing awareness. As souls, we continue our daunting leaps into the soupy mess of physical form. Yet, differing from souffles, nothing is ever lost through the falling and the rising.
Every song, every message, every meditation, every prayer has been our prayer for this morning. And it was just wonderful to hear Kenny say in her reading about having a vessel of energy and having a souffle. Because I believe that we are so blessed this morning with Dr. Reverend Yvonne's message. She is our souffle today.
She was risen, huh? She's risen.
I just want to welcome, I know we have so many guests here who came to follow the music, to follow the message, and just to reaffirm your home, and we're so glad you're here. And with that, I'd like to introduce my loving friend, Dr. Yvonne.
Hello and good morning. I get to see all of your beautiful faces and it brings tears to my heart. I love that we've gotten through this time, right? We call it the time. And yes, as a souffle, I've had my ups and downs through it, right? As I'm sure all of us have. We come together today to talk about answering the call. What is the call? Where does it come from? The call is always within us. It never leaves us. It's right here and right now in all things at all times. Sometimes it whispers, and sometimes it hollers, and sometimes it comes through a child's voice. It comes in many different ways. Have you ever had those times where things are just going really smooth and you feel like, wow, I just got life, it's going well, right? You might be at home and everything is going perfect, the washer's going, dryer's going, everything's going like it's supposed to, and everything at work is going well and relationships are going well, and you feel like you're just skating through. It feels so smooth and connected. And then other times, nothing is working, right? Other times we might have kids crying, we might have people hollering, we might have phones ringing, and we have things that don't work, washers and dryers that aren't working, and things that aren't happening the way that we want them to. And it really comes back to the meaning that we put into things. When they're not working, what does it mean? Does it mean that, oh, I'm doing everything wrong? Does it mean that I am less than? Does it mean that I messed up, I'm a failure? I didn't balance my checkbook right this month, I made a mistake? We have all of these things that happen for us on both sides. And what we put the meaning on, what we give meaning to, is what the meaning is. So it doesn't have meaning by itself. It has meaning because we give it meaning. We have purpose. And we can ignite that purpose through paying attention when things are out of sorts. It's kind of strange to say, but when it's out of sorts, those are your magic moments. What can I get from here, right? It's only up from here. I can only do better. It's only great from here. Some of those moments can be hard. They can be difficult. We find ourselves in situations that we didn't think were really us, right? How did I find myself here? I know we've all had those, right? We've all had that time we go, well, that doesn't seem like something that I would have to experience. That's not me. That's not my personality. I'm filled with love and joy. I'm not that crazy person screaming over here. What happens? And in those moments, we get to connect with the part of ourselves that we don't really like or we don't really honor. When we do that, and I know we're going back to the call, but when we do that as well, when we can connect with ourselves in all areas, in the good and in one extreme or in the other extreme, we can find our center. We can find who we really are so we can make a true difference in our lives and in the lives of those that we love and care for. I'm going to sip of water here. Excuse me. When we are talking about answering the The call comes to us in so many different ways. Noticing that the call has the common denominator in all things, that it is love. It's love calling. Love is calling whether we're dancing at our house, getting things done, or we're at the best camping trip we've ever been to, or whether we're helping a friend through hospice. It's love that is calling us to be our greater good. And how do we connect with our love? How do we connect with what's inside of us, already us, never leaving us? This wonderful companion that is always and in all ways within us. Well, I have kind of an acronym for that, and I call it putting on the cape. And I have several different capes, just so you know. But this particular cape, is about courage. It's about acceptance. It's about, well, I'm going to stop there for a moment. To courage and acceptance. And I don't know why I'm so thirsty. Thank you. I had a woman come into my office a few weeks ago. Actually, it was about 2 months ago. And she was in a situation where she was in a domestic situation where she was uncomfortable with what was going on in her house. She was experiencing financial bullying by her fiance at the time. She was experiencing aggression. He was spending their finances on drugs and alcohol, and he wasn't taking care of the family. She has 3 children. And when she came to my office and talked and sat down with me, there was an act of courage that I had seen come through her like no other. She said, something is just not right here, and I can't fix it. I need help. So that call outward for help was answering a call inward for love. Right? So she honored that call in herself and said, I'm struggling and I need some help here. What can I do? How can I get through this? How can I take care of my family? How can I take care of myself? If I have him leave, we have no way to take care of our home. If I have him stay, then we're not taken care of very well at all. We're abused. So in that moment, I watched this woman come forward with courage. And it came through desperation. That's where I'm going with that, right? It came through her desperation for a greater good. That call for a greater good into her life said, okay, I've been doing this for 7 years and I can't do it another day. Not one. So that courage. Our conversation was about accepting where she was, honoring the right here and right now. You can't make a plan unless you know what you're planning for, right? You can't make that happen unless you can accept what you really have right here and right now. What are my resources? How am I checking in? So the C is for courage, the A is for acceptance. Accepting by taking the temperature of your life right here and right now. Where am I? How do I accept what's actually happening? Is it all good? Is it really all good? Do I have some areas of improvement? Can I have increased good? Because that's awesome too. And so I asked her to take the temperature of what was happening in her life right here and right now. So for her, it was how much money is in my checking account? What's the schedule for all the children? What's my work schedule? How am I going to make things manage if I'm going to be successfully by myself? But am I really going to be by myself? Who are my resources? Right? So just doing a check-in on the here and now, acceptance. It's not good, it's not bad, it's just what is, what's happening. I hear all the time, it is what it is. But it doesn't have to be worse than it is, and we can always make it better than what it is. The next, for P is cape, right? So for P is possibilities. What are the possibilities? What's happening here, and what can happen here? How can I accept? I have the courage to come forward. I'm accepting what's real, and now what is possible in my world? I've already assessed my resources. I know what I'm capable of. What's possible? Now, with this particular person I'm sharing about, when she got into the what's possible part, she said, well, all of a sudden she goes, well, it's possible that I could reach out to my church, because she also has a church that she's affiliated with, and she was like, I can reach out to my church and see if anybody can help drive some of the kids to school for me so I can take on a few extra hours over here. And it's possible that I could talk to a friend of mine who works at another restaurant that I used to work at, and see if I can get a couple extra hours in that. And she started to reach out to what was possible. Before, nothing was there. She was blind to all of it. She walked in with desperation, nothing's there, but I know something has to change. And now she's in possibilities. It's possible I could reach out to a friend. My mom could help. My brother could help. This could happen. That could happen. I can be okay. I will be all right. The breath comes in. Answering the call. I will be just fine. So then as she got into looking at what she could do, what is possible, how things can work, she started to discover that she had so many more resources than she thought she did. So many more resources. So she went from courage, through acceptance, through possibility, and now she's in empowerment. Because she took what we call taking my power back, right? How many of us have done that before? You just feel the need. You're like, this is mine. Right? She took her power back. She started to talk to the woman who owned the restaurant that she used to work at. And they needed more help than she thought. They needed so much help that she went in and on her own created an entire new menu, started creating all new experiences for them. She said, you know, this is really what you guys need. When I came in, this is not how you used to have it. With all these changes, let's do how about this? Within 3 weeks, they offered her partnership in the company. What's possible? She came back and she followed the call. She took ownership over every single piece. And she's now partnership in the company. So when we are connecting with who we truly are, we don't have to know, like that wasn't on her list of possibilities, oh, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to be a partner in the company. No. She opened to the divine, and the divine gave her greater than she could ever imagine. Was open to possibilities, and the possibilities came through her, and she answered yes. Right? When you allow the yes to come through you, what's happening in your life now that you can answer yes? Or do you need to take your temperature? To see where you're at. See what's going on. Financially, are you where you want to be? Take your temperature. Emotionally, spiritually, do you have the relationship with the divine that you want to have? Is it the deep, amazing, comforting relationship that you deserve? Is it a relationship that might need some work? How about your personal relationships? Is there any space in a personal relationship for growth and connection? for more, for a greater good. Or maybe somebody who has been left on the outside and needing to be reached out to. Maybe they haven't got to feel your love over the last... I spoke with somebody a few days ago who said, I've been so lonely with COVID. I've been by myself. Is there someone in your world or someone that you could allow into your world that you could reach out and welcome them? So our invitation today is to put on your cape, right? To have some courage in all of those areas, even if it's already good, because we are science minders, so we can make things sound and be really positive and amazing. But we don't want it to sound and be amazing up here. We want it to be amazing here. We want to feel it and know it and experience it. Right? Having a life filled with love and joy is a big responsibility. We get to share our love with others. If I sat by myself and said, I'm in my room, I'm reading, like, oh, I just want to feel a lot of joy today. It doesn't really work, right? Come on, let me let that joy out, so I'm sitting still. I have to let my body into it. I have to let it go. I have to be a part of the day. And so by putting on that cape, we're part of the day. We allow ourselves to have the courage to accept what is, not make it worse than it is, but we can make it better than it is. Being open to possibilities and empower ourselves and others. Empowerment is another way of loving someone. When you empower them, and when you empower yourself, you do it through vision. You do it through seeing not only your greater good, but their greater good. So that's your invitation today, is to wear a cape. And I'm just going to say that nobody has ever seen me and Wonder Woman in the same room at the same time. Okay? But we wear that cape. Namaste.
You don't worry about little water spilling in Colorado. It evaporates in 2 minutes. After that wonderful message and all that wonderful music, it just stirs the soul, doesn't it? Oh, it felt so good. And of course, sitting on that chair, I couldn't fall asleep or anything, right? But I was so stimulated by this concept of putting on a cape. That's something I definitely need to do. Just this morning in picking some weeds out of my roses, my little paw here has 2 stickers in it, and I couldn't figure out how to get those out, but I know that the greatness of God will help me. So with the blessing of music and the blessing of this wonderful message, we move into our offertory time. Because I don't know about you, but as I sat there and Dr. Yvonne asked me to recount my life, I ended up with a long list of blessings. A long list of blessings that I want to give great gratitude for. For we know that there's an infinite flow of prosperity. There's abundance, and it's always operating at all times. It's operating whenever we're open to it. So no matter what our circumstances are, just as Dr. Yvonne indicated, we can put on our capes in life and find that there's a lot of goodness and that we have a lot of power. And that we should and can operate with grateful hearts. Because when our souls are fed, it's practiced that we also give to feed our souls. And anything that we give blesses others. And I'm so proud of the Center of Spiritual Living Parker for, I know that we have helped people that are hungry through COVID-19. Through the blessings of your gifts, we have fed children and whole families. I know that during the California fires that took whole communities, through your gifts, your blessings, we help shelter those people. So when we give for the world. And we give with our great appreciation that each Sunday we can celebrate together as we have today. So with this, I'm going to offer you an opportunity to affirm your prosperity and your power with me. So if you would repeat after me. I attract all good things.
I attract all good things
into being.
into being.
The power of my faith
The power of my faith
enhances my experience of health,
enhances my experience of health,
relationships, finance,
finance,
fulfillment,
fulfillment,
passion,
passion,
purpose,
purpose,
and joy.
and joy.
The creative source in my life
The creative source in my life
is in a constant state of perfection,
is in a constant state of perfection,
freely giving itself
freely giving itself
as my bounty.
as my bounty.
And so it is.
And so it is.
All that I have is blessed. All that I give is blessed. All that I am is blessed. Blessed. All that I have is enough. All that I give is enough. All that I am is enough. Blessed. Thankful, so thankful. Thankful, I am thankful. All I have is blessed. All that I have is blessed. All that I give is blessed. All that I am is blessed. Blessed. All that I have is enough. All that I have is enough. All that I give is enough. All that I am is enough. Blessed, we are so thankful. Thankful, so thankful.
blessed with that wonderful music.
Amen.
Just fantastic. Thank you so much. Thankful God. We are so thankful. Our gratefulness is just overflowing. We overflow with the generosity of everyone through their services, through their love, through their giving of their gifts. And we know, God, that each day we step up and we step into our lives as a shining light of your love that is serving this world. And we know that this giving is so blessed and that we are so grateful for everything. We are grateful for the energy of everyone that is here, that sings with us, prays with us, meditates with us. For we know that the divine is here and that divine carries us through our lives in love, peace, wisdom, and joy. So together, please join me in saying, and so it is.
Good morning, friends. Thank you all so much for being here today. I am Reverend Phil Tapp. What a wonderful group that we've had here today. Allow another round of applause. You all can catch Denise Rose next week at New Dawn Center for Spiritual Living. Is that correct? Okay, so they will be meeting next week, so please look for her if you have the opportunity to hit that service and you're a Denise Rosier fan. You can follow her, you know? We had so many announcements that we decided to kind of break them up into two things today. So we have some very important announcement right now, which is we have a new senior minister candidate. She is present here today. Would you please stand? This is Reverend Stephanie Sewell. Folks, she will be giving a talk and offering an afternoon workshop at our next in-person service, which is meeting on the 27th of this month. Please join us in this. Your participation is vital. You know, we need to know what you think, and so we will be having our same voting process following this. So please show up, and please plan on attending the workshop. You will be able to register for that via a Breeze link. So watch the e-blast as well. That's going to be coming out this week. Folks, we're still raising money for the purchase of this CSL camp, and our personal goal as a center is to raise $5,000. We have done very well. We are at nearly $3,000. We need your help to get there by the end of this month. So if you haven't made your contribution to this incredibly important thing, please do so via check. Please annotate on the check that it is for the camp in Vernonia. And if you do donate online via Breeze or Zelle, please make sure that you do that same kind of an annotation. There's a space to make. In honoring diversity, friends, it is Pride Month. Ooh, come on now. This is where we honor our LGBTQIA family. And please know that there are lots of activities, both virtual and in person, that are going on this month. And I'd like you to please see Felina Harrington. Felina? CSL Parker is going to be doing a little bit of stuff with this, so if you're interested, please get a hold of Felina, and we've got some things that are going on for the center as well, okay? What else? Finally, Centers for Spiritual Living is offering a virtual event this Friday and Saturday titled Honoring Freedom. It is a Juneteenth symposium featuring Black leaders in our movement. You will learn about the meaning of Juneteenth. You will be inspired to embody the spiritual principle of freedom in your daily life. Please see me for the registration details. And as our final parting thing today, I want you all to know, if you are not aware, our board president, Laura Gordon, and her daughter, Lisa Gordon, will be leaving us on Tuesday this week and moving to Georgetown, Texas. This will be your final opportunity to perhaps see Lisa or Laura in person. Laura's here. Lisa is not here with us today. So if you have any parting words for her, please pull her to the side and say so today. And right now, I'd like I want you all to know that I am so grateful for their service to this center. I'd like her to stand now and be recognized. Please, friends. Please be sure to see Laura afterwards. Well, I should have had you all stay standing for the benediction. So as we go forth from here today, we go with glad hearts. We go with knowing and a solid belief that we are connected to Spirit, and that we are in touch with Spirit working in, through, and as each and every one of us. We go forth from here knowing that the inner call is loud for us. We are connected to it. We hear it and hear it clearly. I declare that it is simple. It is easy for us to follow the call of love. It is easy to follow the call of joy. We can do so knowing that when we put on our cape, our superhero cape, we might look each other in the eye and say, I'm Batman, or I'm Wonder Woman, or whatever that might be. But the truth is this: we lift each other up by accepting our own greatness. We do so today with verve, with vitality, with enthusiasm, knowing that God lives through each and every one of us. We accept this as our calling and move into life in a greater fashion. All is well. Please join me in saying, and so it is. Is it still?
Yes, it's in the.
Is it still forbidden?
Yes.
Okay, I forgot the horse. We have a fine piece of artwork over here at the front that is still open for bid. Please stop by the table, look at the art, place your bid. Thank you very much.
Let's rock out of here.